Today, we will be learning about learning styles, preferences, and multiple intelligences in the classroom.
Intelligence is the ability or abilities to acquire and use knowledge for solving problems and adapting to the world.
Howard Gardner proposed 8 different intelligences within his theory of multiple intelligences.
The first intelligence is logical mathematical. Some skills are the sensitivity to and capacity to discern logical or numeral patterns, as well as the ability to handle long chains of reasoning. The intrapersonal intelligence has skills of knowledge of your own strengths, weaknesses, and capabilities, as well as access to your own feelings.
Spatial intelligence includes the ability to perceive the visual and spatial world accurately, as well as to perform transformations on those perceptions.
Another intelligence is naturalist intelligence. Some of the skills are the ability to recognize plants and animals, as well as using categories to understand the natural world.
Another intelligence is linguistic. Some skills of this intelligence are the sensitivity to sounds, rhythms, and word meanings, and also sensitivity to different functions of language.
One intelligence is interpersonal skills, meaning they are able to relate well to others. Skills for this intelligence includes ability to read the moods and motivations of others, as well as to understand the desires and needs of others to respond appropriately.
Another intelligence is musical. Some skills of this intelligence are the ability to appreciate and produce rhythm, tone, and pitch, and appreciation of forms of musical expression. The final intelligence in this theory is bodily kinesthetic. Some skills of this intelligence are the ability to control body movements and know where your body is in space, and also the ability to handle objects skillfully. Like mentioned before, the person behind this theory is Howard Gardner. Gardner was a developmental psychologist doing research at Harvard. From his research, he concluded that separate multiple intelligences exist.
The intelligence quotient, or IQ, is a score that compares mental and chronological ages.
Keep in mind a student's IQ score does not define their ability. Now, here's an example of students with multiple intelligences in the classroom.
Hey,
Hi.
is this your plan time this year too? Oh, me too. So, did you have Eli last year?
I
in your
did,
class?
yes.
He's in my class this year.
Oh, awesome.
He has a lot of energy.
He definitely does. I think I picked up that he was a kinesthetic learner for sure.
That's interesting because I was thinking, how am I going to get him to learn if he can't sit down and do his homework?
Yeah, I used a lot of hands-on activities to try to keep him engaged.
That's a really good idea. I'm glad to know that you were successful.
Yeah.
Now, let's move into learning preferences and see what the different types are. There are 2 main types, visual and verbal.
Visual learners think using images and visual information and prefer instruction using pictures. Verbal learners think using words and verbal information and prefer instruction using words.
The following video examples are tips and tricks for auditory and verbal learners, as well as different multiple intelligences in the classroom.
Hey, Miss Alexa, you're still on your plan period?
I sure am.
Perfect. Well, I just wanted to talk about our third grade students and how you're doing with your class.
Yeah, I have a lot of great students this year actually. I'm very excited.
Really, I've noticed I've had a lot of visual learners in my classroom, and we've just kind of been struggling with figuring out how to do things for them and make them excel in the classroom. Specifically, Jake and Carrie, I don't know. They are very good with interacting with their peers, and one of them's very strong in music. But I've just been retelling them directions over and over, and I just kind of gets monotonous.
Yeah, that could be hard. I think maybe a suggestion I can make is that since they're visual, maybe you try writing the directions on the board so they can see it as well as hear them.
Awesome. Thank you. I've never thought of that before, so thanks for the idea.
Of course.
Hey, so I heard you talking about how you have some more visual learners in your classroom.
I have a lot of visual learners in my classroom.
I feel like I have the opposite problem because in 4th grade, I'm really trying to teach 4th graders how to be a little bit more self-sufficient, self-management. And I have 2 students in particular, Gunnar and Elizabeth, who are very bright. They're very bright in math, and they generally have very good self-management skills. But whenever I put the information or the instructions up on the board where they can visually see it, it doesn't really seem to stick, and I feel like I have to repeat myself and repeat the directions over and over again.
Have you tried, I think there are verbal learners, like you were saying, have you tried like being really patient and like repeating behaviors over and over, just because I feel like they have a lot on their mind and they tend to forget, like if you're doing assignments or different like stations and different like work areas?
Do you think that they are verbal learners? Do you think that's a legitimate learning preference instead of just them not paying attention?
I think it is a legitimate, I really do think verbal, like visual, verbal, all of those types of learning are legitimate learning, like skills and stuff that students really have to use. But I think as teachers, it's our job to provide different arrangements of learning to all types of learners in the classroom. So like it's important to be kinesthetic and just like have movement in the classroom, visual aids, examples, and then like lots of auditory too. So I think using a combination of three will really benefit our students in the classroom.
Okay, as a first year teacher, it's really helpful to get a veteran teacher's opinion. I'm going to go spend the rest of my classroom researching learning preferences.